Synchronicity University is proud to present some of the most brilliant astrologers on the planet, and you've got a little time left to join our September programs for as low as just $5 a class, an unheard of rate to learn from these astrologers. Learn more and sign up now at synchronicityuniversity.com. Links below. Hello, fabulous superstar Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of August 2025. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is this month that the universe sets the stage for the grand sextile. Now, we are going to have this energy perfect with that much more precision once it is that we get into next year. But this month is a very, very close second. The grand sextile is incredibly important energy. It is part of what is helping us to move into a brand new understanding of ourselves and of the collective. But of course, this has a way of showing up in the individual journey as well. Now, for you, once we get to the 5th or 6th of the month, depending on where you are on the planet, and Mars changes signs, moving into a part of the sky for you that has to do with friendships and group alliances. Well, it is here that Mars is set to awaken all of this social energy in the sky by setting up what's called a grand trine, a major configuration with Uranus in your opposite sign, and with Pluto in another social part of the sky. So you can see here, it's like friends and your connections to others, all kinds of people really, are the big blessing. But you add to this the fact that it will be Mars that will stand across the sky from Saturn and Neptune, both in fellow fire sign Aries right now. And this sets up a larger configuration still, which is the near Star of David configuration. And it is going to be this grand sextile energy that's pretty much operational all month, but it is these days in the first part of August that are especially strong with how it is that a lot could change. It could come on like a blessing, but there's also enough motivation to make it count so that we actually are doing something to follow up and maximize the potential of this time. It is going to be on the 9th of the month that we will have this month's full moon. And this full moon is in a part of the sky for you that is one of the social houses, as we call them, a part of the sky that has to do with your understanding of your neighborhood, your connection to your neighbors, your siblings, your cousins. It has to do with random interactions, synchronistic moments, and being active in your local community. Now, having a full moon here could speak to all kinds of things, depending on how that full moon is connecting to other power players. But here's the thing, even though we do have that major configuration playing out simultaneously, the moon itself really is not connecting with other power players. It is essentially unaspected, as we would call it astrologically. And what that means is the energy ends up being isolated. It is compartmentalized. And for you, that means there might be stuff happening with your siblings, cousins, neighbors, but it seems to be much more about your feelings, emotional connection or realization or care that is coming forward at this time. It's your own feelings of feeling endeared to them that might be coming to the surface. But that seems to be about it as far as this full moon goes. And so enjoy it for what it is. If you feel inclined to spend time with one of these people, you might want to do that, or you feel more active in your local neighborhood, you might want to do that as well. Now, because this part of the sky also has to do with what you're thinking, how you're thinking, what you're learning, what you're saying, what you're communicating, what you're expressing, well, all of that might come into focus at this time as well. But what does it actually count for? How does it actually benefit other areas of life? That just doesn't look so certain just yet. The love of learning itself, the emotional fulfillment itself, to read something that brings you pleasure, to write something that feels emotionally satisfying for you, might in and of itself be worth it. Now, as we navigate forward on the 11th of the month, well, Mercury will go direct. And Mercury goes direct in a part of the sky for you that is worldly, long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, and legal matters, as well as the beliefs that help guide your life. They help you to make sense of the world around you. Mercury going direct is like a light coming on. It is a burst of clarity, a moment of insight, a moment that makes you go, oh, okay, I get it. And for you, where you are to be, that just might be part of the click that finds you at this time. So stay open to possibility. I feel as I look at this that you might just be setting up for a new understanding of the world around you and maybe real opportunities to get out into the world, whether it is in these particular institutions that I mentioned, whether it is actually traveling, or maybe it was that you were thinking about taking on some adventure, some trip. And now, as Mercury goes direct, you see it differently. You realize where you are to be differently in some way, and it is meaningful to you nonetheless. That's the thing with Mercury direct. It brings with it a clearer, more balanced understanding, and the things we thought we wanted when Mercury was retrograde maybe just don't mean that much to us anymore. Now, it is the following day on the 12th of the month that we will have Venus meeting Jupiter. This is what some astrologers call the most romantic day of the year. That's what we have playing out here for you. And this energy is taking place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with profound change, truth, transformation, regeneration, and wealth. I'll talk about this in a love context in just a little bit, but outside of that, yeah, this can be really good for being able to access benefits or funding or grants or loans that you qualify for. And so in that way, this is a big blessing of an energy. This energy does suggest whatever might be happening now, it's profoundly healing to you in some way. There's a sense of protection and blessing with you at this time. Feeling well provided for by a generous universe, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, might be part of what fills you with gratitude at this time. The 23rd of the month brings this month's new moon. The new moon takes place at the top of your sky, having to do with career, social standing, life purpose, and your understanding of a higher, more loving vision for your life. Now, take this into consideration. Yes, we have this new moon, but the new moon, and any new moon, brings with it new opportunities. It's a seed moment. It is a beginning. But this new moon is at 0 degrees. And what that means is, yeah, it's a beginning, but what form is that going to take? What is that actually going to be like, actually going to look like? That might be part of the consideration in some way at this time as well. But for all that, what we also get here is this new moon speaking in conversations of tension with Uranus. That's a wild card factor, right? But what we also have is this new moon, a part of a yod configuration. In fact, it's a yod configuration that is pointing at this new moon. And what that is two planets sextile quincunx, another planet. They're pointing their energies in one direction towards that planet. And in this case, it's Pluto on one side and then Saturn and Neptune on the other. Now, all of that is to say, wow, that new moon's getting a whole lot of energy. And a lot of this is very karmic because 0 degrees already is a very karmic degree. It's very fated, whatever is to happen. And then you add to it, all the really big planets are involved in this new moon as well. So it does look like a consequential time. But there's something else to consider. It is next month that we are going to have a new moon solar eclipse in this part of the sky as well. And that solar eclipse is happening at 29 degrees, the very end of this part of the sky. And I think that that is remarkable because whereas this month it's like there's a beginning, but it's so much of a beginning that we just don't know what we are beginning in some cases. However, that eclipse is a beginning that is dramatic, but it comes with an ending as well that we might be embracing. And for you, all of this playing out with career. So I will talk about the eclipse in next month's horoscope, and I did talk about it in the year ahead horoscope as well over on my website, Superstar Space. All of those links are below. Having said that though, for this new moon in and of itself, there might be new ideas, new potentials, new possibilities where it comes to career or aligning with purpose and stay open to possibility. I do think that what's really meant to happen, it'll feel like it just shows up, might have you scrambling a little bit until you sort of gain traction. Now, where it comes to matters of love, I'm going right back to the most romantic day of the year. In addition to what I mentioned, this part of the sky also has to do with vulnerability and intimacy and really wanting to be known by another, wanting something that feels authentic, that feels real. So, when I look at this happening, it does suggest getting very honest with yourself about whether or not you have that. It does suggest wanting a bond that feels faded in some way. But remember, it might be a moment that feels faded, important nonetheless. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, yes, I would not be surprised if there was a very strong attraction towards another person. And there might be a real moment of vulnerability, of intimacy with them, regardless of how far it goes in a literal way. Certainly, that's part of what you might be feeling at this time. However, here's the thing with this energy, there's not a lot of support from other power players, like Saturn, for example, that would suggest long-term potential. That might be there in the fullness of time. I mean, especially because we do have that larger configuration at play where Uranus is in your opposite sign, a part of a grand trine, where Uranus in your opposite sign is sextile Neptune, sextile Saturn, with perfection this month. So these are huge energies. So whatever's happening in love, it is something that it feels like a very important turning point, if you will. However, being open to meeting someone new, this moment does suggest really being honest with yourself about what you're really going for, what you're ready for, what you're wanting, and what it is that you might want to do going forward from here to help you to align with what it is you want in the context of love. For those of you just starting to date someone, I see this energy working a couple different ways. Now, this could be very all or nothing energy. Like with love and light in your heart, if this ain't it, you're going to know it, you're going to move on. But with love and light in your heart, if there could be something here, this is where you get more intimate, you get more vulnerable, you get more honest with each other. The other thing to be mindful of is love and money, okay? I would just consider if in any way you feel that that is something that needs to be paid attention to in some way. Maybe very different financial brackets, maybe it feels like one person is more generous than the other person. There isn't a lot of balance. Maybe that matters to you, maybe it doesn't. But that might be something to take into consideration, because what it is that you, a small number of the Sagittarius out there might be feeling is that they want to be loved for themselves. They want a love that is real. And if there's money as a layer in the middle of it, then that could be part of some doubt that you might be feeling at this time. But you ultimately get to heal that doubt as well as part of figuring out what it is you might want to do next. And for those of you in an established bond, the overwhelming majority are going to find this a time of bonding, of intimacy, of deepening commitment. Others are going to find that your partner is able to be more generous with you in some way. That helps strengthen the bond. There is going to be that small percent out there. If you felt for a while that you might not be in the right relationship for you, this might just be one of those all or nothing moments with love and light in your heart, with gentleness, if you will. If you know this ain't it, this is one of those energies that says you have enough faith to change, to go another way. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say I love the energy of, well, I would say that Venus meeting Jupiter, that is the star of the show. Venus meeting Jupiter is not just about the most romantic day of the year, but it's also energy that is massive blessings. It is the lower benefic and the higher benefic meeting in the sky. And when these two get together, it is healing, it is protective, and it is hopeful. It is Jupiter. You've got to take action to make it count for something. And so This is where, if you're in any kind of therapeutic journey, you want to schedule that appointment right about this time, right around the 12th, give or take a couple days on either side as well. If it is that you're trying to access funding, this is where you want to consider where to put those applications in, how to make those applications count for something. But it is with faith, backed up by action, that truly big blessings could follow. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity, university events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. And thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.